Alrighty, welcome back. It's still TVC Breakfast here on TVC News Nigeria. Of course, we are still going to be looking at the 2015 presidential elections. We can't stop talking about it in the meantime because everywhere, all around the country, celebrations, of course, change. That's what the people wanted during these elections. And as a matter of fact, they have got the change, and the celebrations keep going everywhere, from south to north, from west to east, everywhere around the country. That's exactly what we are still going to talk about here today. And beyond the 2015, as a new government comes into place. I have a guest here in the studio with me who has joined me now to take a look at the 2015 elections and the Nigerian Project, how the country can move forward from here. Of course, he is Ayodele Adewale, former chairman, Amuwo-Odofin local government area. Good to have you with us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Now, first of all, let us still do a review of how we got here. The final hurdle being the presidential elections, where General Muhammadu Buhari has just scaled. I want you to tell us, because before the elections you were here and we talked about the elections, violence and all of that. Give me your impression of what you just witnessed, the conduct of the 2015 presidential election.
Well, first and foremost, I'll thank God for being a partaker in this history. Because as a student of history, one I've always read about the political development and transition in Nigeria, pre-independence, post-independence, after the military takeover, and at the various government levels that one I've read about. Well, having been a partaker, and I've served as a chairman of local government and a member of a formidable once opposition party. One will be very thankful to God to have seen this day come. As a student then, as an activist fighting to enthrone democracy and risking the bullets of the military under the Abacha regime, you cannot imagine the kind of joy that is resonating in our minds, and many of our colleagues are Nigerians. And this is the very first time that Nigerians will elect their own president. Pre-independence, the British gave it to those who they felt could carry on with the political affairs of this country without minding the fact that the people matter the most. Post-independence also, you saw what happened that led to the 1966 coup, and of course the 1979 election, and how the judiciary tried to unturn a popular mandate that was given to Chief Obafemi Awolowo. And that also proceeded down to 1983, and we saw what also happened, and General Buhari and his, not even him, some military people felt that that should not be so. And he, as a purist within the military setup, was brought in, to give a face to the government and lead the country. And of course, the clamor for the military to leave. Initially, they gave us 1989, then it was pushed to 91, then to 93. Then we had the June 12th. You understand, struggle. Abiola won the election, the most popular and free election before now. And that mandate was not given to Abiola. And unfortunately, Abiola died in incarceration. Then we continued to 1999. And they felt again that we needed somebody to balance the slate. Then Chief Olusegun Obasanjo came upstream. And the election too was not a popular election, so to speak. Then we went forth to 2003. And of course the aftermath, we started fighting at the judicial level until we got to this stage. And of course people like Urubebe also tried to truncate the process. But we thank Jega. You see, beyond the Nigerian people that must be thanked to have come together under a platform that is very popular, the APC, and of course, led by a formidable ideologue, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and his likes. We should also thank Mr. Tairi Jega for being very, very calm.
Well, okay. First of all, before we get to that, let's look at the opposition. This is the very first time that
who is the opposition? Who is the opposition now?
No, before I'm talking about APC here. All right, before the APC, took over the government now. All right, the formation of the party as an opposition. All right, how are we still going to continue? Do you think we will continue to see this sort of, formidable opposition, or will it, decline from here?
The only opposition that you'll be seeing is to oppose bad governance, to also oppose corruption. That is what you'll be seeing right now, because the APC has a roadmap already. We did not just frolic into the office. We have a roadmap, and the roadmap will be implemented stricto sensu. Just as we did have a roadmap for Lagos pre-99. When Asiwaju came in, he was not wandering in office. There was a roadmap, and the roadmap was to clear the field away from the Lagos environment, to put the pegs of development all across Lagos. And that development started, and it was sustained by Mr. Fashola. And God willing, it will also be continued by Mr. Akinwumi Ambode. And the Lagos experiment was what was exported, and it was also espoused within the context of the APC charter, that look, we have done it in Lagos. It is successful. Then we exported it down to Osun, to Oyo, to Ondo at a point. Then we also took it down to Ekiti, then to Edo State, the South. And it worked very well. And that attracted a lot of people from all corners of Nigeria to come and join us. You understand? And we also took it to the north. And people saw that, look, this change is actually very possible. It's like energy. We used to think that the energy thing, energy creation and distribution, is a far-reaching a program that never can we have 24 hours of energy. But in Lagos, we have demonstrated it, that we can have an energy supply system that will be infinite, except we decide to turn it off. So we are now saying that having one power at the center, we are also going to decentralize power.
Okay.
You understand? Local government, state government, federal government will be able to generate energy and distribute it. They will be able to propound and bring about good governance in the area of education, health, infrastructure that we need much more importantly. Okay. These things are going to be laid out, and people within the limitation of their peculiarities can grow without any government, you understand, intrusion in their livelihood and all of that. Government is going to set out all of this peg of development.
Okay, now, these elections apparently weren't devoid of challenges, as aware. Of course, the card reader challenge, late arrival of materials and all of that to polling stations and so on and so forth. Moving forward, how can we begin to, because apparently we are getting better and better. Moving forward from here, how do you think some of these challenges can be remedied?
I will only quote Asiwaju here, and it's very relevant, that power is not served a la carte, and freedom is never given except you demand for it. And that is what has happened in Nigeria. The Nigerian people decided to free themselves from this yoke of bad governance and corruptive tendencies. Having done that, the next thing we need to do is to clear the airwaves, clear the bushes, clear everything for us to have that passage. Like the children of Israel when they were leaving Egypt. Of course, they got to the Red Sea and they got confused. But of course, God told them, there's a way there. And he told Moses, put your staff forward. And the Red Sea departed. Now, there is an open way now for us to move in. And as we move in, all of these development purposes will be put in place. Like I told you earlier before, if you have been following our campaigns, we have always said that, look, all these things are possible. We have always been campaigning along programs, and just not telling you that these programs are achievable. We also showed you how we can make it work, how we can make it come upstream, how these things can be readily visible, and all of these things. So we're not wondering about government, we're not wondering about what to do. We already know what to do, and I can assure you that in the first 100 days in office, you are going to see all of these things happen. Take, for instance, the exchange rate. As soon as Mr. Buhari was announced to have won the election, the dollar started going down. When Abiola was presumed to have won the election then, the cost of items started going down. It means that there are some people with their corruptive nature that have been holding us, you understand, so strongly and making these things not to work. Gradually, the nose will be loosened and we'll remove it from our necks and all of that. But give us the first 100 days in office. What we have been able to achieve in Lagos, you understand, thus far, will also be maximized within the whole country.
Okay, now the institution itself, that is INEC, you know, people have always talked about how independent that it is really, even though that you have the prefix independence there, that the commission doesn't really have that independence because you have interference, you know, occasionally from government. How do you think this will be tackled as well?
Well, in context,
to ensure that full independence is granted to INEC without any form of interference.
In context, INEC is independent. In context, literally, they are independent. When you look at the setup on paper and all of that, but in practice, they were not. So it took a man like Jega to enforce his independence when he was being intimidated, even to the extent that some people were telling him to resign and all of that. But because Jega is a seasoned activist, Jega is a pragmatic person, and of course, he's no push around. He knew that, look, it's better for him to make history. And he knew that it's better for him to make this thing workable and make the people happy. So he refused to bend at the face of intimidation. And that is why we got to where we are. Secondly, Jega alone cannot deliver the purposes of INEC. He also have people that works with him. You understand? Even down to that polling officer that is there. How many of them are committed? So what will be done in INEC now is to overhaul their structure. Then the new National Assembly that is coming must make sure that the financial stream of INEC is totally independent. So that when they have their own finances, they can dictate at the level in which they want to move. And then security is also very important. Because at a point, people were using security issues to try to sway the functions of INEC. Even when Jega was even saying that, look, they were ready. Of course, you are going to have one or two hiccups. Even when you start a new car, the oil, the water, and all of these things must circulate before it gets running. You're going to have some hiccups, like what you have in the Nigerian system. We're not ruling that out. But I can tell you that with the momentum in which INEC is moving now, they have moved from the initial of 0 towards a destination point. They are in motion. And what we just need to do is give them all of the aid that is needed for them to function properly.
Okay, now, what do you think is the democratic impact of what has just happened, what has just played out, the victory of General Muhammadu Buhari?
Well, the social scientists will look at it very well. I mean, when I say social scientists now, I mean the whole of us will look at it very well and be committed to supporting General Muhammadu Buhari in office. Change is not about one person. The change that you've seen is, for us, is a revolution, is a movement. Is a movement, is beyond the party. The people were committed to change, and the people also should be committed to the programs that we're bringing forth that will help Nigerians and Nigerians to be self-sustained and all of that. So the programs are people-oriented, very people-oriented. These are programs that will make you as an individual to stand on your own, as long as you are committed towards doing the right thing, as long as you are committed not to be corrupt in thinking and practice. That is the change that we have always advocated, a change that will make me go through the four walls of formal education and better myself and come out and say, hey, look, I want to produce paper. I want to be a news broadcaster. I want to be an engineer. I want to be the best person in my society. I want to go into government and be the best example that you can see. I want to have mentor. I want to mentor other people towards doing good. That is the change that has come and that will be with us and that will also stay with us.
Now, let's also look at President Goodluck Jonathan's conduct so far in this whole process, his role in creating that platform.
What platform?
The platform for this victory. President Goodluck Jonathan did say that he will provide a platform for credible, free and fair election. Can we say that he has done that or not?
Well, I will not hinge to that. I won't hinge to that saying because the platform has always been there. Pre-independence, the platform has always been there.
Yeah, it has always been there.
The fact that he's at the echelon of government does not mean that he created the platform. What he refused to do was to succumb to the dictates of the rule of law. The rule of law has always been there, but we've had leadership that have not surrendered to the rule of law. For him to have surrendered, he surrendered to the people's will. And if he had not done that, the people's will overshoot him. The people's will consume the system. The people's will is emotion. You cannot
are you saying
stop
that
the people.
Is there no way that we can give credit to President Goodluck Jonathan for what has happened?
Well, the credit some of us will give to him is that he succumbed to the will of the people. We'll give him that credit.
But sometimes the will of the people, it is subverted by,
the will of the people consume the military. The will of the people consume the military. And there is nowhere in the world where tyranny has lingered so long. The will of the people will always come to stay. The will of the people, the will of God is the will of the people. The voice of God is the voice of the voice of the people. You understand? The will of the people will always come to stay, no matter how long these things linger. And it's even good that he listened to the will of the people. You saw what happened to Gbagbo. You saw what happened to Pharaoh. You saw what happened to Idi Amin. And so many of these tyrannical leaders. So I give him that thumbs up, that he listened to the will of the people. And the people also have, I hope they would have forgiven him. And I hope that he also will come up as a statesman. You understand?
As a matter of fact, world leaders, President Barack Obama, David Cameron, have all, commended President Goodluck Jonathan for his statesmanship.
Yes, because he listened to the will of the people. In civilized countries, if you are alleged in office, what a right-thinking people would do or person would do is to resign and go and clear your good name. If there's anything good about the name. You have so many people that have been alleged in his cabinet. You have a minister that refused to come before the National Assembly using the legislative corridor to prevent that inroad from happening. And the same National Assembly, you went before them, they approved of your office for you to start work. The people matter in any democracy. It's about the people. You understand? But like I said, among all of his rankings, he surrendered to the will of the people. And history will record him appropriately to have surrendered to the people's will.
Now, there are challenges apparently ahead, and expectations are high, as General Muhammad Buhari acknowledged in his speech yesterday, that the challenges ahead are daunting really, and you will need to handle them step by step. Insecurity, economic challenges, and all of that. How, moving forward, how do you think that this administration will begin to tackle some of these challenges? Let's begin with the economy.
You see, one wonderful thing about this whole issue is that God has given us someone who not only know the road, but someone who has passed through similar road pattern before. General Buhari has served as a Minister of Petroleum before. He has been the Commander-in-Chief before. And that also tells you how he was able to tackle insecurity in his time, particularly when you had the Metasini issue. He was in the PTF. So he has seen it all. He has the experience. Of course, he also have juggernauts, like General Gowon had when he had the Obafemi Awolowo with him. And I still stand to be corrected. After the Awolowo Gowon administration, there have never been any other administration that have laid such monumental infrastructure in the political history of this country. You have the like of Mr. Yemi Osinbajo with him, an administrator par excellence, a lawyer par excellence, and of course you have the likes of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu with him. You have the likes of Rochas Okorocha there. You have Amechi and so many other young ones that are there, that are committed to making this country live again and take its rightful position among developed countries of the world. So all of these challenges, for me, I see it as being there, but I see it as being surmounted. Because many of these challenges also confront us in Lagos, and we have been able to overcome it. You have the like of Ogbeni Shola that turned nothing to something, looking at what had happened and what is happening in Osun State and all of that. You have Kayode Fayemi there. These are people that have really practicalized this made these so-called impossible things possible. So for us, our challenges are not cast in stone, are not things that we cannot overcome. The major challenge we have here is the issue of insecurity. And him being a former military head of state, somebody that have overcome such challenges before, you must also understand that when you have the political will, you can make things happen.
And you think that's enough? Because if you look at the sophistication of insurgency during that time and now, if you compare the two periods, you cannot say
there is no sophistication there. There's no sophistication. If the challenges of the opposition, as it were, could make the Nigerian military and Nigerian government push back insurgency within 6 weeks, you can now imagine the same opposition that opposed them and gave them the practical know-how to have pushing back the insurgency threat, so to speak. They are now at the saddle of leadership. All of these things will become history. You understand? This is a man that was a general, you understand, knows the rudiments of making the military well sophisticated. Now he's in power, he's in government, he's in office. He knows where to purchase. Like, I want to quote the president when I listened to him on BBC, and he said that arms are not like cigarettes. You don't just go and purchase them at the shelves and what have you. I want to tell you that most of this arm that is needed
all right,
for
just
this
a moment.
purpose.
Let me interrupt you. So we can take Tajid. Oh, wait, we have lost Tajid.
Most of these arms that is needed to tackle this manner of insecurity are already on the shelves in many of these developed countries. You just need to order for them through the right stream, not through the black market. Now, there are international treaties, you understand. there are other countries that you can come together with that is a threat with this kind of situation. And you come to a common agreement like is being done now. You push them off. You just circle their movement and you freeze their supplies. And you just
But you think it's as easy to do that?
It is very easy.
As you say it?
It is very easy as long as the political will is there. As long as you can lead from the front. As long as you are committed to it. As long as corruption is moved away from the stream. As long as you can encourage your men and officers, they will give you the result.
Now, corruption, you just mentioned corruption, and of course Muhammad Buhari in his speech yesterday also talked about corruption. That of course I remember very clearly when he met a group of people in London at the Chatham House. He said, if we don't kill corruption
will kill Nigeria.
Will kill us. The way it is at the moment, corruption has become heavily rooted in our system. All right, we do have a caller at the moment. Good morning to you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, how are you today? Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Thank you.
I'm fine.
Okay, go on.
Yes. Please, I want to say a word on the topic. Okay. What I want to contribute is on the issue of how Buhari, whether he's going to be able to curtail this insurgency. I want you to support your speaker on the issue that commitment is the problem we have in terms of curtailing this insurgency. If, for example, the government of Dr. Ebele Jonathan can in 6 weeks reduce the pressure of Boko Haram to like 80, to reduce it down to like 10% or 15%, then just flashback in 4 years, lack of commitment or maybe carelessness in the part of advisors of the president is what causes the issue of Boko Haram to escalate. So we are hoping that Buhari cannot do it alone, but all Nigerians must rally around him to support him. One, we know that he will not condone indiscipline. And one of our problems in Nigeria is we should have disciplined citizens in Nigeria. We should be committed and put Nigeria first. And Boko Haram will be history. I think that is what we are supposed to do now. If really we want Nigeria to move forward, at least all Nigerians now are happy. For me, I was thinking that maybe by now we are no more in Nigeria. But look at what happened.
All right.
Then that means Nigeria will be great by the grace of God.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much indeed for your contribution. We do appreciate your contribution. Right, he agrees with you on the issue of that will to do a thing. In this case, fight insurgency and bring it to a halt.
Of course, the political will must be. That's why you're a leader. If you're a leader that is people believe in, to the extent that they know that when they give you information, one, their identity will be protected. Two, they know that those information that they're giving to you will be used rightly.
Oh, all right, sorry, let me interrupt you. So we take Abubakar now. Good morning to you, Abubakar.
Good morning, the anchor and the presenter on the studio.
Thank you very much for joining us. Please go on with your contribution.
I want to use this opportunity to congratulate Nigerians and the country as well. The problem we're having with insecurity in Nigeria be it Niger Delta or in the north, is as a result of lack of political commitment, as the first scholar says. If the government is committed to tackle, these thugs, I think within weeks, government will be able to do that. And that is what the previous government lacked. Now, if this present regime that is about to take over has that political willingness and commitment to tackle the problem of insurgency, is just within some weeks, as I said. And that is the only problem I think is difficult to solve. But other ones, corruption and any other aspect of problems we are facing in the country, I think those ones can easily be solved. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much indeed for your contribution. But what do you make of how the government has handled in the last 6 or 7 weeks the issue of the insecurity in the Northeast?
Well, I would commend them to the extent that they listened to the opposition and they listened to APC, because we gave them many of these solutions to solving these problems. And like I said, they were distracted. They were distracted by material gains to self. A lot of them were amassing wealth for self purposes, rather for the collective purpose of developing this country. And when they saw that the heat was too much and they could not survive within the enclave of the room, that was when they came out and started doing something that looked seemingly possible towards working to the solution. And I congratulate them for that, having listened to the opposition and taking many of the tips of solutions that we gave to them, you can see
what
tips of solution that you must be committed towards solving these problems. You must remove corruption from your stream. You must show care to your officers and men. That was when the commander-in-chief thought it wise to go to the Northeast and talk to the armed forces. Okay. And of course that will ginger the morale of our men. Many a time you see the American president going to Iraq, going to trouble zone to talk to their men. Of course, as an officer in the front line, you know how it will boost your morale. Absolutely. And having given the right equipment to fight the problem.
All right. Let's take Sarah Fadin now. Good morning to you, Sarah Fadin.
Hello.
Hello, Sarah Fadin. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Hello. Please go on.
This from Nigeria, actually, for the world. That's thing I want to tell you for Boko Haram and everything for worry and then inshallah.
All right, Sarah Fadin, I'm afraid we can't make out what you are saying really. The lines are not very good, but if you can, please call us back. Thank you very much, Sarah Fadin. Right.
Well, like I said, having been able to decide to do what is good and take the issue frontally, of course, we saw the result within 6 weeks. That if this administration have taken it as a commitment to fighting this issue of insecurity in the Northeast would have been solved long time ago, and all of those lives and properties that were lost wouldn't have been lost.
All right, Babangida, good morning to you.
Hello?
Yeah, good morning to you, Babangida.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Is this Ibrahim Babangida?
Wow, very beautiful program.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, I want to just contribute to you, please. Yeah, we are very happy in this country, the way we see this changing. This is what we are fighting for.
is what we are looking for. What I want to contribute here is that we have to learn a little lesson from this, what is happening in this country. Because this is the first time we have get this kind of history in this country. For those they are saying that Buhari is this, they have so vast a history. If we talk about person, you have to know the person. There's no need to be condemning the person backward. If they want this country to be false, they have to change a little system of this election. Like what happened in the river, we don't pray the same thing will happen in governor election. This is my contribution.
All right, thank you very much, Babangida. Now, are there any lessons we have learned from the presidential election that we just had?
Of course, there are so many lessons to be learned. The first thing is that the people must understand that they have the power to determine what happens to them. There have always been this apathy about my vote don't count. I mean, if I vote for them, they will still come in and loot the system and all of that. But with good political information and mobilization, the Nigerian people got to understand that they matter. And they got to understand that it is very important for them to form a government of their choice and to make their people account, you understand, for their deeds in government. And many people that lost elections were people who never really did good in office. And that is why you keep seeing the political success in Lagos. That since 1999, the progressive have always won office in Lagos because of our political deeds. And we will, by the grace of God, continue to win seats and office in Lagos.
All right.
Because we have more programs.
Okay.
And such programs also led us to winning in the Federation.
All right, Timo, good morning to you. Jimo, good morning to you. Hello, Jimo. Are you there? Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Ivory Coast, yeah,
Hello,
thank you.
good-
Yeah,
hello,
thank you.
good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Jimo, all the way
good
from
morning.
Ivory Coast. Thank you.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go on, go on.
Hello?
Yeah.
Someone is calling from the coast region. Okay, thanks be to God. We all give thanks to God for what is happening in Nigeria today. But I want to call every Nigerian to remain calm. And we need to celebrate this victory a little. What we need to face now is how to develop the country. And one tree can never make a forest. Someone like Amuwo-Odofin Ahmed Tinubu and others need to join hands with Buhari to make sure that having been doing all things accordingly. Because we cannot be celebrating. Nigeria would have spoiled a lot of things outside in Nigeria. And it's time to start preparing it now for our tomorrow. So by practicing what will happen tomorrow, we have to start early today. So this celebrating, we need it. But now I have to stop it and face what is the reality of this victory. I cannot do it alone. But it's a single man like me and you. The point is of this one is that we even those who did not vote for us, we should allow to take them as our enemy. We are all Nigerians. Let us face the reality now and see how we are going to rebuild this country. We that are living in another country, we don't like it. It's because Nigeria is not good. Nigeria is not okay. Things is not turning the way we want it. That is why we remain in another country. So if people there and join us and move Nigeria forward, we all are ready to come back home and war and our father's life. So the first priority is to celebrate. We have to start from now and see how we can move and get us forward. And not everybody, including from up to the current president, is a Nigerian because what we need now is not to get one another as enemy. Let everybody gather out what we have and say how we can move Nigeria forward. Good luck, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Good luck, Muhammadu Buhari. Good luck, TVC. Nigeria well. Because
all right. Thank you very much indeed, Jimo, all the way from Ivory Coast there. Of course, Jimo made a very important point that celebrations should be kept at bay, should be moderate, because that the APC has won, it doesn't mean that, you know, they have to celebrate away. It's time to begin to work.
Well, it's beyond the APC winning, and you must understand that the people have put in place a government of their own. You can't stop them. You can't stop them from celebrating. When APC started the movement, when Ashwaju brought up this party, they said it was a regional party.
Yeah, but I think the point is trying to make it
that they need to settle. I'm trying to elucidate it. I'm trying to make him understand that it's beyond the people. Understand, it's beyond the people celebrating, and if you don't allow the people to celebrate and you know, express themselves, it will look as if this government is not popular. You understand? To look as if the government is not popular, it will look as if things were actually stereotyped. Even within the context of celebration, the APC have already started another campaign. Yesterday we were at Ojota.
Okay, sorry, just a moment. You will tell me what happened at Ojota. But let's take Mohammed. Good morning to you, Mohammed. Hello, Mohammed. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Please go on.
Yes, sir. Sir, I just want to make a just a little contribution, sir.
Yep.
So I just want the president, the General Muhammadu Buhari that won this election, that please, we should just consider the youth. Because I believe today, most of the youth today suffering in this country, they are the people causing havoc, destroying property, agents of political talks. So please, I just want your guests in the house to talk about, look over the youth problem in Nigeria today.
All right.
And God bless TVC for the enlightenment for this general election that just conducted in Nigeria. God bless you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mohammed. God will bless you as well.
Amen.
All right. You were going to talk about what happened at Ojota yesterday.
At Ojota yesterday, the APC organized a victory program. And at that program, we also used it one, to thank God and thank the Nigerian people for voting at the last election for APC, and to also remind them that it is not yet Unhuru, it's not over yet, that we still have another election come the 11th of April, and that is the governorship and the House of Assembly election, and that is very important for them to make sure that their vote also counts, and their vote count for APC. That now that you have an APC leadership at the center, it will be good for us to resonate it all across the bounds of this country. Most importantly in every state matters, but for me, a matter of concern readily is Lagos State. That Lagos have been marginalized for a very long time, perhaps because we have always said the truth, and we have always demonstrated,
in what
said
way?
the truth that, look, good governance is practicable. You understand? Comfort of life is very practicable if you can have the right persons in office to provide all of the amenities that is needed for comfort. That is very practicable. But the government at the center have always seen that as an opposition to their own ideology of looting the system. And as such, now that we have a kind of a person of us, the progressive, the masses person at the center, that is very important to also resonate it all across the country, in all the states, in all the assemblies of states in the country, and particularly in Lagos State.
All right, the contributor a few moments ago talked about the youths.
Yes.
If the incoming government has a place for the youth, because they've been clamoring, for this for so long now.
Good enough that the last election was propelled by youths in the APC. All of the programs that you saw, major programs that you saw, were organized by youth. The programs were written out by youth. They were conceptualized by youth, especially if you had followed the social media, and so many of the APC programs were written out by youth. Today I'm so happy. I am no longer a youth. I'm an adult. At 40, I'm an adult. I wish I was still within the age of the youth bracket. It will be a thing of joy for me to see that many of these advocacies and clamor is achieved by a youthful zeal. And for the youth, we have a series of programs lined up for them. One of such is a program that has been designed for youths, graduates that after leaving school, that are yet to get employment for the first 1 year, they'll be paid and taught skills that can make them self-subservient. For the unskilled too, we have programs for them. Education also, we have programs designed, particularly the 1 meal a day for children that will also help them keeping money in their pockets. We also have programs for the aged. We have programs on health. We have
you
the
think it is
agriculture.
something practicable in the long term?
No, it's practicable now. These programs are very practicable now. You're talking about resources, management of resources, both human and capital liquid resource. These things are very practicable. Nigeria has 26 natural resources in commercial quantities. But how well have we been able to harness this resource to the benefit of all Nigerians? We've only focused on oil, forgetting that oil also have derivatives. So many derivatives from oil if we decide to refine the oil, the crude oil in Nigeria. And this will also implies creating jobs for all of our people, regardless of a particular skill that you are faced in. I will tell you that in Lagos State, 28 billion have been programmed for youth empowerment. By the time Mr. Akinwumi Ambode is voted as governor of the state, you see many of these things just propping up. So I can assure the youths of Nigeria, I can assure the youth of Lagos that the government coming in is a government of their own. I can also assure them that one of the things we advocated for at the plenary session of the Pro-National Conference Organization led by Chief Anthony Enaro of blessed memory was that if an 18-year-old can vote, such 18-year-old be voted for. And what does it mean? In the Nigerian Constitution now, it is stated that before you can become a chairman of a local government, a member of the State House of Assembly, or a member of the House of Rep, you must be 30 years of age. Before you can be a member of the Senate or a governor, before you can run for that office, you must be 35. And before you can run for the presidency or the President Federal Republic, you must be 40. These things are absurd. Democratic ethics simply says that you must be 18 to vote, you understand? And it's about the people. So if you can vote at 18, why can't you be voted for? We have seen lawyers called to the bar in Nigeria here at age 24. So if you can interpret the law, then you can make the law. Pre-independence, post-independence, we've seen people at young ages, 21. Pa Adesoya was 21 when he was in the lower house of parliament. We've seen Matthew Umbu was 24. You understand? When he was appointed as was it a minister and what have you, and so many things like that. These are things that concern the youth. The political age benchmark will be brought down through legislation and through a sovereign national conference, so that the youth can have practical involvement in government. They've been cut out already.
Okay, now, yesterday, General Muhammadu Buhari talked about corruption, as I was going to say the other time, that he will tackle corruption. But how easy do you think, with the level at which we have it at the moment, how easy do you think it will be for the APC government to handle this?
It is very easy. Like I said, the political will. Once the leader says this is what I want, and is committed to doing so, is the driver of the vehicle. And he said, this is what I want. Naturally, the followers will key in. Once he decides to implement the laws and the rules, the conducts, without fear or favor, just like the judge, you will get it done. I have led the local government before, and I know that what people felt were not practicable at the local government level became very, very practicable. We had free health programs. While I was there, I recount that over 3,000 women gave birth. They never paid a dime. They didn't even pay for the card, 1,000 naira. And we're giving free drugs. Free drugs to people within the age of 0 to 16 and 60 and above. You understand? I employed doctors. I met 2. By the time I was leaving, I had 28 doctors. I had 2 physiotherapists. You understand? And I have a medical psychologist. Before I left, I met 22 primary schools that had infrastructure in challenged, and we rehabilitated those schools and we built more. We gave free bags. I gave out 450,000 notebooks for free. I gave out 23,000 uniforms for free. We touched over 300,000 people in 6 years for free. We built roads in Festac Town. That was a responsibility of the federal government, not just putting asphalt-based costs on the road, using heavy machines to do this. We provided soft loan at 1.5% of interest, working with a microfinance company.
All right,
and the
Mr. Adewale,
these things are very, very possible.
Yeah, we are completely run out of time. I just want your final words on moving forward.
Well, moving forward, change is not done or achieved by one person. One person starts the change. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu created a platform for change, and that's the APC. Now, we have the driver of the change, and that is General Muhammadu Buhari. We are moving forward, and to move forward totally, come April 11, all Nigerians must come out again and vote for change and make sure that this change is holistic, especially in Lagos.
Right.
And as we do this, we all be smiling towards the next generation. That what was not made possible by generation before us, our generation, and the one that is just a bit in front of us, behind of us, and made it possible for subsequent generation to come to embrace.
Comrade Ayodele Adewale, former chairman of Amuwo-Odofin local government area, I must thank you very much indeed
Thank you for having me.
to share your thoughts with us.